Okay, the printer is up to temperature and it's in its home position, so it's ready to level. There is a little bit that goes into leveling it out of the box, but we can get into that later if you're interested. There's a little relay in here that gets closed. Maybe you can hear it. Yeah. So that the printer knows it's in its home position. Anyway, before I get started, you see this gantry running across? It's powered by 2 motors. Over time, it can get a little cattywampus. So I just do a quick visual check and make sure it's level. You can see over here, it's just over that screw. Over on this side, it's just over that screw. So it's looking good. So what I need to do is take a piece of paper and bring the print head to each corner of the print bed and make sure that it's in the same place. I should be able to fit a piece of paper under there and have some resistance. If it's too far from the bed, you won't feel resistance. Now, a more expensive printer would be able to do this on its own. However, from what I've read, those auto leveling systems don't necessarily work that great. One important thing to notice is one of the first things I did when I got the printer was print a bunch of upgrades. So these green parts are actually things I upgraded. Before there was just a wing nut here, which is still there, but it's kind of within this dial. So this just makes it a lot easier for me to turn and move the 4 corners up and down to make sure they're level. But anyway, this corner feels good. The paper's got a little bit of resistance, so let's go to the next corner. Again, it's pretty good. Actually, there's a little bit less resistance on the paper than there was on the other side. So I'm just gonna rotate that screw to the left a little bit, which makes that corner come up. Now it's feeling a little more snug. Nice. So I won't bore you, but basically you have to go around each corner. Maybe go around twice if need be. You shouldn't have to level every time, but I do. Better safe than sorry. After I've gone around all 4 corners a few times, made sure it feels pretty good, do a check in the middle, make sure you can slide that paper underneath. So actually this printer was in pretty good level. So we're ready to go. The printer's hot, it's level. The G-code has been uploaded to the server, so let's print. So let's find that file. Mom and child split in half. Sure, oh wait. Let's check the video, make sure my camera is aimed pretty well. Sometimes it's fun to share a video with people to show them how their print worked. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, so let's start her up. So mom and child split in half. Let's go. So it's going back to home position and it's getting started. So what you'll see first is it's going to print that skirt we talked about. The first couple seconds, sometimes the plastic kind of comes down weird. I like to watch that first layer. If there's any pieces of plastic that go down that look like they're going to get in the way of other stuff, I use a razor and cut them off before they become a problem. These clips are just to hold the glass down nice. I don't usually print this close to the edge, so as you can see, my clip kind of got pushed out of the way. Not a big deal, but I don't really want to correct it right now, because if I do correct it, I might move something. But the point is, the glass is pushed against the surface, so it's no big deal. All right, so it looks like it's doing a pretty good job laying down the skirt. So because this is a larger print, you know, it's gonna take a little while to get that skirt down, but then it will go right into the print. You asked if I had printed anything useful besides that vacuum thing. I actually, a coworker of mine needed a piece for his pool skimmer basket that broke. He wasn't able to get that piece without ordering the whole skimmer assembly, so he brought me the broken piece, and I fabricated it for him, and it's working great. So there's a few things. Oh, also my vinyl siding, a portion of my siding blew off in the windstorms a few months ago, and I came home and part of my siding was dangling. So I hopped up on a ladder, took a look at it, and even though I don't know anything about siding, it only took me a moment to realize there was probably a very long, thin tool with a hook on the end that would be used to fix siding. So I did a Google search. Sure enough, the part looked almost exactly how I imagined it would. I went into Tinkercad and did my best to design it, you know, nothing fancy. Had it in my hands, printed about 35 minutes later, and fixed my siding. So it would have only cost me $8 to buy the tool at the hardware store, but it saved me the trip and gave me some satisfaction. So anyway, as you can see, if I look closely, I can see that these layers are, well actually, here they're kind of stuck together nicely. Over on this side, there's a little bit of a space. That's an indication that this side of the bed is a little farther from the print head in the extruder than they are on this side. So what I'm actually going to do is, on this left side, this is not an exact science, you kind of get it with experience. I'm going to, without affecting the movement of the bed, just give about a quarter turn to raise that bed. And I'm going to go around and do the same on the other side. During the printing of the first layer or so, you can kind of keep an eye on that. And make some adjustments as necessary. That's just something you kind of learn with experience. So, but it's not critical that you get it perfect. As you can see, I think the adjustment I made looks like these layers are going down a little closer to each other. But this design doesn't have a lot of intricacy. After a few layers, I feel like it averages out. Maybe the first layer or two might get smushed a little more if it's closer to the build surface than the other layers. But after a few layers, I think it's even. But anyway, so this, I would guess, looks like it's going to be a successful print. Maybe I'll show you what comes out at the end. The software does tell me how long the print is going to take. So as you can see, time left 5 hours. It should give you an estimate of cost based on how expensive the plastic is and an estimate of electricity cost, although I must have screwed something up because it's not giving a cost estimate. Anyway, that is it. And you can actually watch in this G-code viewer, I think it's loading, you can actually watch the layers as it designs. So pretty freaking cool, huh? So you can see it printed the perimeter, then it printed the first layer, and now this black part is what is actually printing now. So anyway, hope you found this interesting. We can talk about it some more. It's been a really fun hobby. Anyway, hope you and Fawn and Liv are doing well, and hopefully we can get together soon. Peace.